Hello, everyone. This is Get Folked. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Get Folked, a casual listening podcast anchored in our love of folk music. With enough slack on the line to bring us into our worlds of Berlin, Limerick, and beyond. My name's Andrew.
And my name is Edward. And don't forget to like and subscribe and listen to us wherever you can find us, most notably on and most prominently on Substack. That's our home, the home of the podcast. And but you can also find us on Instagram, on YouTube, and from there we kind of siphon off like a major river to its tributaries. No, it's the tributaries go to the major river, actually, isn't it? That's the other way around. Yeah,
sure.
fucked up there already.
So, I got fixated on your prominently on Substack. I would say that's just where we found ourselves at the beginning. I don't know. We're probably more prominently present on Instagram for what little we do, but.
Was that a dig? Was that a dig at me? Since I was the one managing the Instagram account. Are we knives out this area? We're less than 2 minutes in. Knives are out. 30 seconds of that 2 minutes.
I just
was the jingle.
That amazing video clip that went out on Instagram. That was all the production company over here in Berlin.
The Berlin-based production company. Damn it. That was beautiful. That was a beautiful video, and it was so professionally done. I don't know who you hired to do that.
Sure. Listen, there's drop
George Lucas. Was he just knocking around? He was doing one of the director that came in.
Got Wes Anderson, actually. It's more of a Wes Anderson thing. It's you can tell that it's because of the drop downs and the fadeaways of some of the captions. Yeah, and then there's the fade in of the crows, which by the way started building.
Clearly a homage to David Lynch right there. That was,
a lot of layers.
His recent passing. It was good. It was a tip of the hat. It was a beautiful tip of the hat, actually. Well done. Anyone who has missed that video on Instagram, first of all, don't know how you missed it. It was everywhere. And you can still catch it because it's still there. So just go have a look.
Going nowhere. Do you know yesterday was the 1st of March, and that's the day crows start building their nests? And
I did know that.
By God, did they start building?
Really? Yeah.
Oh, there's sticks. There's raining hell in my home place right now. It's a drop of sticks falling from the sky.
Yeah. Like they're kind of like the equivalent of butterfingers, like a butterbeaks. They're just kind of they're just kind of crap at carrying all this shit. They're just like awkwardly
just these really shit laborer crows that are just like hired in students. Actually, they're on a it's spring break in crow world.
Yeah, it's the summer job. They don't give a shit.
They don't dropping twigs and there's people looking at them. What the fuck are you doing? They're like, give a fuck.
This is not my career, man. This is not my career. I got better things to do than this. I'm going places, man.
Check out those crows.
Fast forward to that crow in middle age. Where are they going to be? They're going to be right there.
He's already sold to startups. That crow is living the life. He's got his own Bitcoin thing going on. Crypto. Crow crypto. Crypto crow.
Crow coin. It's really exploding actually at the moment. Crow coin. See if you can get a non-fungible token of crow coin. It's going to. I don't think they could even do that, but the crows have found a way. Somehow get a non-fungible token of a crypto coin. Me and Andy do not know if any of these words make sense in this order. We're just throwing them out there. Hopefully it's like, whoa. Hopefully it's a joke.
It's a funnel, probably, if anything. It's just there's a lot of funnels out there for crows to siphon their industry from. Magpies, and there's a lot.
So anyway, you can find the podcast on other podcast apps like Apple Podcasts also. And we're on Spotify as well. I always forget about Spotify for some reason, but we're there as well. And YouTube. I'm particularly fond of YouTube because you get to see our beautiful faces and this nondescript set of wardrobe doors behind me.
Yeah, with always just a little bit flirtily sticking its little leg out there.
Look at that.
Very seductive. Very seductive.
Yeah. Very like tempting. You know, you'd have to watch the video to understand what I'm pointing at here now. It's just a little bit of fabric.
It's just a body. It's just actually a body just falls out.
Well, we did say there was enough slack on the chain of this podcast. Let's wander into our own worlds.
Yes.
So mine is murder.
How was your... Apart from the murder.
Very poor body disposal.
So you're drinking a Mardi.
Yeah, I think it's Madri. I think it's pronounced Madri. It's like it's the one with the red label and your man looking very smart.
Exceptional.
Exceptional. Well, they would say that. No, you can't take their word for that one. But it tastes quite nice. It's a big bottle. It was just in the house. I didn't seek it out, but it was in the house, and I just decided to drink it.
Yeah, mine's got frishish herb. Is that as its little hook to try and grab the drinker in.
So health conscious. I mean, all these beer drinkers are so health conscious these days. You know, just fresh herbs. They need fresh herbs in their beer. You know. Yeah. So that was as good a start to the podcast, I think, as we've had. I would say solid. First 6 minutes.
Right. What do we fill the rest of it with? What else you got around you? Another dead body just falls into the... Timmy was a...
Well, I think a good place to start this week would be to thank Whelan for last week's interview. I'll never be confident in pronouncing your name, Uyghur. I'm very sorry, but I do believe I've said it quite well. But yeah, just thank you very much for joining us last week, and I really enjoyed the chat. It's really nice to hear, as he described himself, as a nerd, a music nerd. Mm-hmm. And I love talking to people like that who are really into what they do and are really good at what they do, and just getting their perspective on things and listening to their kind of story and how they got to places, got to where they are and stuff like that. It's really nice. So, and what a pleasant man to talk to.
Really was. Yeah, it was. We chatted to him a little bit afterwards when he left. He met the family, and he told me about I can't remember if we talked about it. I know we talked about the soundscape stuff last week, but did we talk about the thing he was doing for a project here, recording 43 orchestra players or musicians? I don't think it was necessarily orchestra players, but this guy, he's from, I want to say Jordan, but I'm not sure. But anyway, he told us that he was going out to this thing on Tuesday night. It was a record launch. I actually have not looked up any of this because I was just going to say that we'll talk about it next week. So I'm just not going to say any names about it, but it was called Phantom Orchestra. So I just said I'm not going to say any names, and I was like, and the name of it is Phantom Orchestra. Anyway, it was called Phantom Orchestra, and it was basically this guy who recorded 43 musicians, some of them orchestra players, probably most of them now that I think the thing is called Phantom Orchestra.
But several also phantoms.
studio phantoms. They're not live action. They don't.
It's just they're really bad musicians. You can be a phantom actually in this. And then the really good ones, he goes, you're a musician.
So the guy was performing, basically recorded these people, I think 30 minutes of each, and Uyghur was one of them. And then he had 4 turntables. And he basically was a record launch, and he was playing like alongside each other. Like he would have like 4 records on the go, sometimes 2 records on the go, but like the music kind of, what you describe it as, it just layered over each other. And really nice, really weird. Like, you know, it's another one of these soundscape things. So at times you're kind of like in a room that's, you know, in a room, we were always in a room. We didn't leave the room. But you kind of like the music would make you kind of feel very relaxed and very like you're in a tranquil area, but then it switches to kind of ring sounds, whereas a woman. I'll get this. Give me a second. I'm not joking, everyone.
So just wait. Just set this up properly. I'm sorry. I'm not going to let you continue until you set this up properly. What do you mean by a woman ringing sounds? What
sorry. Yes, I went too fast. I got more excited about what it sounded like around it. So the movie The Ring. Yeah, you remember that movie?
I do.
And if you have not seen the movie, it's a horror movie from, I guess, around the noughties. And you watched a videotape and you got, in 7 days, just basically got frightened the shit out of by this odd looking girl. And that was it.
Well, she was odd as well. She was definitely not just odd looking. She was odd.
Listen, we're so quick to judge people, aren't we?
Her behavior firmly fell into the category of odd. She crawled out your TV and murdered you. I think you can give yourself a pass on describing this girl as odd and odd looking.
Andrew hates women. Headlines all over Instagram.
The moment the Get Folk podcast got cancelled.
Those sexist pigs.
Misogynist assholes.
Don't even know this girl. And she okay, yes, questionable behavior, but have you spoken to her? Do you know her motives? Have you considered why and not just judging how and when? 7 days. Anyways, but she makes this sound, which sounds like you're trying to breathe in but struggling, and you're just kind of your throat is scratching to try and take in air. So
okay. Oh, wow.
That kind of sound.
How did you have to practice that?
No, that's happening in real time.
Straight out of the box.
Straight out. Well, amazing. I try to do a good pterodactyl for my kids. That requires that.
It's in the vicinity of your pterodactyl. Maybe give everyone your pterodactyl, like on a low, because you can go very hard on this one. So a little bit on a. No, I was asking for the pterodactyl. You were doing the lady again, and the ring.
She's giving out. Of course, giving out.
Okay, that was lovely.
Thank you.
That's a really good talent. I can't make that.
I'm not sure. It's all right. But anyways, this. So I went to this with a friend of mine. Go on.
Sorry.
No,
just remember what you were about to say. What were you about to say? Just remember what you were about to say, right? How do we know what a pterodactyl sounded like?
I don't. I guess they have narrowed down the sounds these animals make by rebuilding their internal organs, perhaps, or knowing
they've rebuilt them,
or modeling them. I don't know, whatever they do in the paleontologist world. I'm not.
I think you've brought like a level of artistic creativity to that paleontologist world that I'm impressed by. Genuinely,
we need to tag whatever paleontologist kind of societies are out there on Instagram.
Yeah,
we need to tap into that now. Once they hear that, who knows?
Who knows where this is going to go? This could be the last Get Folk podcast about music or bullshit talk. It could be all dinosaur talk from here on in, and our interpretation of how they sounded.
And folk. Within that circle.
The first year is going to be exclusively, let's say, they're focusing on their vocal abilities, and the second year of the podcast is going to be just their farts. dinosaur farts, which sounds suspiciously like our own human.
Yeah. Don't know if I've got the range to really be able to define what the difference is. But give me the voice any day, and I'll take a pterodactyl home with me and teach it how to sing. So
okay, sorry. You went to this gig.
So I went to and that's what it was. There's nothing really to tell. Like I do have a few clips that but I want to reach out to the artist himself. So yeah, he was selling his record of this stuff that's kind of like soundscapey. I know we talked about it a little bit when Uyghur found out you work with planes. It was like a boing. The possibility of that was I think quite nice to him. And then I was like, oh yeah, it reminded me actually of an art teacher I used to work with, and when she told me she was into music, and she told me like this is like over 10 years ago that she was into recording the sounds of things, and I kind of laughed. I kind of laughed. I did laugh because it was just odd for me to hear someone saying this, and she also laughed at it as well, and laughed at what she was doing. But at the same time, when you're kind of like when you're at a gig like that, and there's four I don't know. The guy I was with, I was asking him, he wasn't really sure, but like he reckons that he wasn't manipulating the speed at which the records were playing, or the pitch or anything like that. It wasn't like a kind of a bending sound. It wasn't using tech to really influence it. It was literally the sounds that he recorded, but layering them over each other. They hadn't been planned to fit together at all. It's just what he came up with. So that's as far as I understand it. I will do more investigating. But
cool.
Yeah, so that was a nice spin-off from that chat with Uyghur after you left. He actually couldn't do his gig on Thursday because he got really sick. I think he told me he went to hospital, or he had a high temperature. So, but I think he's good now. He's home, good. But he couldn't do his gig on Thursday. So
he strikes me as the type of guy that will definitely reschedule a gig like that.
I think he's. Yeah, I think Jae-hoon did something in his stead, but I couldn't. I had switched things before I realized he was doing his solo, a solo. He's going to just double down on more solos in the game.
Yeah. So, well, judging by what I heard from, what did you say, Jae-hoon?
Yeah,
is doing it. Yeah. God, he's a talented guy as well. My God.
Yeah,
really
nice.
All the instruments and the singing and the whole lot. He's
the singing was the singing is what kind of I don't know. Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing a bit more, because it just that whole kind of as you said that building up and relating it to the, what did he call them, masters, wasn't he? He was saying masters.
Yeah.
Whether that's a translation, a rough translation of what the word would mean in Turkish or Arabic.
I'm not sure, but yeah. Like I think it's more that, well, the way I understood it was that like you have to be really good to do that type of singing. You know, like, I mean, you have to be a master at singing to be able to employ that technique.
Okay,
Sugar, actually, gazelle wasn't that the technique? Yeah. To employ that technique, you have to be a real master at controlling your vocal cords. At least that's the way I interpreted what was being said there. But yeah. I suppose so this week, just for everyone listening as well, I have a few clips. I sent you a few clips, Andy, from a gig I was at on the 15th, which I had spoken about, the 15th of February, which I had spoken about prior to that. And this gig was the album launch from Sean Mulrooney. Sean we'd had on in January. I'll struggle to remember the date. I think it was the 30th of January, was it? 31st of January, something like that. I think it was thereabouts.
I don't remember.
Yeah, and so Sean Mulrooney, for anyone who doesn't know, is a singer-songwriter. He, up to this point, had been the frontman of the band called Tau and the Drones of Praise. That's what I would have known him from, his music from. Excuse me. And he has since launched a solo album. And this solo album is called This Is My Prayer. And he was on a bit of a kind of a promotion tour, and he was kind enough to stop by with us and chat with us on our podcast there a couple of weeks ago we had a great old chat as well. And so I went to his gig, the album launch, on the 15th, and it was so good. It was just spectacular, like just a really unbelievably good performance and great vibe from the stage and great atmosphere, and like it was really enjoyable to see somebody so. I don't know how relaxed he was. I presume everybody when they're performing has nerves or whatever, but he really looked so at ease on the stage there, and the band that was playing with him were all excellent performers as well. So yeah, an all around great, really great performance. And I'll get to the clips in a moment, but I suppose the reason I'm mentioning this is that normally, let's say last week, I would have played the clips, or we would have gone through this gig, but we had Uyghur on as a guest, and it was kind of the scheduling of all that is why these clips and me talking about this gig didn't happen last week, which it normally would have. But the album "This Is My Prayer" is out now. It was released on Valentine's Day, the 14th of February, and I highly recommend everybody to go and buy it. It's available on Bandcamp, and it's a cracker. It is a cracker of an album, and it's there's a couple of songs prior to this that we had given, or we had had been released. So Ag Muscliacht was one of the singles that had been released before the album was actually released, and another one was the Pufferfish. Two brilliant songs. And so you kind of had an idea that this was going to be a really good album, but then you listen to the rest of the album and there's just some absolute real standout ones. So apart from those that I already mentioned, there's two songs that I love, and they're called Aphrodite and Soul Seer, and they're just on repeat, on repeat. I just love those two songs, and also obviously the ones we've spoken about already. But it's a great album. Really great album, and he's a guy I feel that like should be more in the mainstream consciousness. He's so talented, and really kind of walks the walk as well. So yeah, the gig itself. Then before I get to describing it, it was without a doubt just brilliant. Went up to Dublin actually, went up to Dublin for the gig. And it was doing a thing which I've never done before, which is go to the gig and then come back down again, after the gig. So public transport. And the gig is not like, a gig time, which is like, whatever, 9:30, it's going to be over at 11 or whatever it was. So got the bus up, I got the train up, and met some buddies. Dublin, man, I'm conflicted on Dublin, Like on the one hand, it's got all this cool stuff, like really cool stuff. It's got all this like vibrant culture,
okay, and
like it is a cool city. And on the other hand, it's so full of people. It feels so packed, And I'm not ready for it. I'm like I'm a country mouse, I'm like you go up there and it's just things everywhere. It's amazing, But so just to focus on a few of the negative first. Right. Before I go on,
there's so many things, just like stuff everywhere.
It's just so packed. It's so packed. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. I do like the streets haven't, well, even O'Connell Street or whatever, it always seems like there's so much people walking on, even though it's the biggest street where. Yeah.
Well, I was just looking at like all the traffic along the quays, along the River Liffey, and it's just bedlam. It's traffic everywhere, cyclists everywhere, people everywhere, and it's like the city planners were like, I really hope all this works out. I really hope all this works out. And then you go, but like you kind of go to them if like a picture a hypothetical conversation with the city planners and the people who are in charge of managing this whole thing, and you go like what the fuck, guys? Can you not do any better than this? And their answer for everything is like, well, the city was founded by Vikings. I feel like that would be their answer. And then you look at it and go, yeah, it still looks like it's kind of maybe run by an invading horde of.
Are they available still? Are they waiting in the back benches? They're the back benches there, just a bunch of Vikings in the Dáil Éireann, just
let's get their input. Was this their vision? So I got
one of them just balls naked, just braided beard.
Well, do you know what? I think I met a Viking on the fucking Lewis from Houston Station into O'Connell Street. It was oh my god, it was so packed. It was so packed.
And the Lewis even was packed as well.
The Lewis, oh my, it was like sardines, And this is going up. I think this was on a Saturday. Was it a Saturday? I can't remember now. 4:15. I think it was a Saturday, yeah. And so it's not like rush hour at night. It's not like whatever. It seems to be just the norm. And so I got out of Houston train station, took the train up, really nice, and then got out Houston station. Walked out. There's a Lewis stop right in front, and we're all just waiting for the Lewis. And then Lewis doors open. I get on, and my God, the smell, man,
Of the
smell
Lewis.
of Lewis.
Really?
Oh,
Jesus. That's so many levels of just shitty annoying
it
experience.
was like
I'm
the
glad
Lewis,
the gig was really good. That could just offset so much
like
of
that.
your experience.
I'm just covering like 3 negatives, and then there's like this is like 3% negative, and then there's like 97% positive. You know what I mean? So the 3 negatives are quite funny. Because it's like it's your first impression of the city, nearly. You get onto Lewis, and it's like your first impression of public transport. It's your first impression of people. It's your first impression of the layout, everything, and you are just like fucking overwhelmed by a smell that smells like somebody has defecated into a bag and then vomited on top of that, and has just somehow hooked this up to the ventilation system in the Lewis. And
it's not
now everyone is forced to breathe.
But it's not attributed to any individual person. Like that can happen in Berlin where someone is like just a homeless person. Like this is just the smell of the Lewis, you reckon, or the amount of people that are there and are kind of hanging out there. Like I guess I don't know. Because usually you can attribute. I totally understand the smell you're talking about.
It's so oppressive. It's so like I'm afraid it's going to pick my pocket. It's so there. It's so like right there. This smell, and I'd gladly give it my money. I mean, I'm like, if it go away, I would pay it. I would pay the smell to go. But that doesn't seem to be an option.
Okay, all right.
So anyway, that was the smell. So I got off like 2 stops earlier than I should have because of the smell, and then and like people go saying, "Come on, how bad it could be." Trust me, this was a bad smell. Okay. Anyway, so I got off,
I am very, very qualified. There are moments in that there are moments in Berlin where something passes you by, and you just I understand where you're coming from. I feel it, and the audience needs to feel it too.
Yes, but I've never encountered it before. Really, this is the first time. Anyway, so that was one little thing, and then went to a pub. I won't mention it, and we the service was pretty funny. There was a lady who was serving us, and waitress is a hard job. It is a hard job. I mean, I would not like to do this job, right?
Good.
But
just we're bringing the airplane in smooth, everyone.
And this lady who was a seasoned campaigner now at the waitressing. So she's had it. She's like she's like the crow now carrying the stick. She's like, fuck it, I don't give a shit if a few sticks fall. I don't care. It's not where I want to be, building somebody else's nest. So what did she there was 3 of us there. I arrived after the 2 guys, and I ordered a pint. I found the table and I ordered. First of all, I walked in and I was kind of scanning the horizon of the pub looking for my buddies, and the floor was laid out such that it looked like there was a step in front of me, and I was anticipating a step up, and I was anticipating a step, but it was just a trick of my peripheral vision and the light and the floor all working together to create this illusion of a step. There was no steps, but I still put up my foot extra high to go on this imaginary step, and then it came down where there was no step in front of this lady, right? and I started laughing because it's such a fucking funny thing to do. You know what I mean?
You kind of feel like a mime or something.
Yeah, exactly. And then she goes, I said something like to her. I go, gee, I was laughing. I said, God, I thought there was a step there, and she just goes, yeah, I've been watching people do that all day. I was like, right, cool, yeah. And I spotted my guys, and I went over to my guys, and lo and behold, it was her zone, it was her area, and so she came over and she said, what do you have? So I asked for a drink, and my buddy had ordered me a curry, and that was fine. Got the curry, got the drink, and when she came back with the food, she came back with the food, and she asked the guys, did they want anything else, and one of them goes, I'll have a pint, and then the other was like, I won't have it just yet, and then so the lady went away to get the first person's pint, then came back again And I was like, actually, do you know what? I would like a pint if you don't mind, you know. And this was a fucking no-no in her book. You know, she had a name for it. I'm going to struggle to remember the name, and I hope the guys that are probably who I was with are probably listening to this. They'll text me the name. I'll tell you next week. But it was something like phantom orderers or phantom something like that. Anyway, I can't remember. It was a derogatory term, and she fucking just blurted it out. It was like, "Oh my god, you're just doing this now." Like, I guess we are, you know. And you know, like, you know, whatever. Sorry. And for indecisiveness. So that was grand. Then I went to pay afterwards. I'd finished. I went to pay, and the curry was like €16. Dublin is another place where it's like the prices are insane. Like prices are insane.
That is insane.
Right?
Oh man.
So for this, curry, €16. Now €16 for curry in Ireland is actually standard, kind of normal, you know. So I was kind of surprised. And so I went to pay anyway, and I had a pint of Guinness and a curry, and it cost €27 altogether. And I was like, God, how did it cost that much? You know? So I got a receipt, and just out of curiosity, and the pint was like €7.50 or something like that, and the curry was €16, but they charged extra because I had chicken in it, so that made up the difference. It was like €3 or €4 to get chicken in the fucking curry.
Whoa.
Okay. So that was my intro to Dublin, and then everything after that just got better and better and better and better and better. We walked then through Temple Bar, and whatever you want to say about Temple Bar is, we went over the Halfpenny Bridge, again teeming with people, through Temple Bar, again full of people, lots of life. There's kind of music everywhere, and it was piss and rain. The weather was really bad, but even still, there was lovely life there. It was lovely, like atmosphere there, and then at that point, you know, you're kind of almost used to the amount of people, almost, and plus you're out in the open air, so smells aren't an issue really. And so like it's really nice, just the hustle and bustle, I guess, like, you know. And then walking up, I can't remember the name, I'm useless with the names of streets. I want to say Catherine Street, but I might be wrong there. And just walking up closer, just walking through the city itself, and just all the people everywhere. Very cool, really, really nice, you know. And going into these bars you've never been in before, and just you know, everyone loves people watching, and Dublin's a great spot for that, like, you know. And then you know, just nice crack with the people you're with, and yeah, just really enjoyed it. And then going into Whelan's. Have you ever been in Whelan's before?
I think I do think I have been, but not for a gig as such. I think I went to see one of those lads that did a football or a sports comedy sketch, like with
Après Match.
Après Match. I think I went to see Après Match there.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think there's like 3 or 4 different venues in Whelan's pub. In this bar in Dublin, it's synonymous with live performance and with music. For anyone who doesn't know it, it's the Whelan's pub. I won't remember the address or the street or anything like that. And then so you can just Google yourself. Whelan's,
do it yourself.
Do it yourself.
Or we'll put it in the fucking show notes.
Nah, I won't even do that. So
just put a W.
No, so like Whelan's as well is a lovely pub. Great, I have to say, like, great staff. You can see the staff are all really into it, and you know, just, you know, it seems to be a really nice vibe in there. And I think there's 3 or 4 different stages in that place, and we were in this upstairs stage, and this is where the album launch of "This Is My Prayer" was taking place. So we went upstairs, and there's just like a lovely open smoking area upstairs for people to hang out before they go into the event area. And there's like a lovely little bar hatched through the wall that goes out into the smoking area. So even if you're out in the smoking area, you can order a drink, and so, you know, it's really well set up. It's lovely.
So the smoking area is like the entrance to the gig.
That's correct. Yeah, on the upstairs stage. Yeah. Like,
wow,
I said,
I do not remember anything. It sounds like you're talking about like quite a size of a place. Then
it is. It's huge. Yeah, it's huge, and it goes well back as well. Like, you know, so the upstairs venue is on the front, like street facing. And so yeah, and upstairs, obviously. So went in there and hung around for a bit, soaked up the atmosphere a little bit, had a few drinks, and then the support act came on. So there was this performer, the singer. She performs under Domhan, under the name Domhan. That's spelled Domhan, and she was brilliant, really, really good. Just her and this other musician on the stage. So Domhan herself focused on vocals and played the flute and I think the tin whistle as well. And then the guy with her was percussion. I think he played the steel drum for a while. I think it's called a steel drum, which is really capable of doing a lot of different notes. Like beat notes. So
is that like a circular drum that they tap
yeah,
at different points? And
yeah, that's right. Yeah. I think it's called steel drum. I don't know for
I
sure.
think there's a fancy name for it.
It possibly is. But yeah, just enjoyed that. I've sent you 2 clips of that. So yeah, her name is actually Ciara O'Donnell. She's on Instagram and on YouTube as well. Her Instagram handle is Domhan_well. So again, Domhan is DOMHAN_well, WELL. She's brilliant. Some voice, man, unbelievably good voice, and really talented flute player as well.
Would clip one give us a sample of her voice, or is that too early?
Yeah. Now again, as we always say, recording this on the phone, you're in a kind of a crowded bar situation or live event situation. So obviously the audio here is not going to do anyone any justice, but it was just to give you a little taste, maybe, So yeah, I suppose go on.
Very nice. So it's just her and the steel drum.
That's right. Yeah.
Very nice
for that song anyway. But they change it up. They mix it up a little bit. And again, like I said, her voice is phenomenal. Really, really is. And it's a couple of really nice videos on YouTube of her performing as well. And yeah, I think watch this space for Domhan, because she's quite prominent in the music scene at the moment. I think a couple of different festivals going on around the place. So so yeah, she's also a member of the band Bog Bodies, which I think Sean mentioned to us on the podcast we had him on that interview. So yeah, Bog Bodies as well are another very good Irish folk band. And yeah, so she kept the place hopping for a while there. I can't remember the exact number of songs, but cracking musician, really, really good, and cracking singer as well. So yeah, there's a second clip there as well, maybe.
Steel pan.
Steel pan, maybe. Yeah, maybe
the steel pan.
I couldn't say yes or no to it, to be honest with you, but yeah.
The steel pan was created in Trinidad and Tobago in the 1930s. It was established in context of carnival resistance, its history being traced back to the enslaved Africans who were brought to the Caribbean in the 1700s. There you go now. Wow. Enjoy that. It's just off the top of my head. Few geeks having a right conversation there.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, what could I say? Yeah, that's you're in a.
Tell them you're recording for a podcast. And lads, if you wouldn't mind, I'm a professional here, trying to do my job.
Give it one of those, like a session to really like just the late night session, 2:00 in the morning, everyone's hammered, someone's singing a really depressing song, and there's a few lads going, fuck it, and then somebody else just goes, shh. See if anyone gives a shit at that hour.
Yeah, but no, very, very nice. Was it like an uilleann pipe being played alongside it, or
it was like I don't know the name of this, but it's like it's it's a drone, like a drone, I think it's called. It's a box with a bellows on the back of it, and then you can just kind of pick the note. You see a good few folk bands playing this instrument these days, but she was playing that. And again, her voice was just incredible, just really incredible. I didn't even get the best of it, because you know yourself, you're at a gig, you want to enjoy the gig as well. So I didn't even get the best parts of her singing, but I think it does give a little taste of how good she really is. So yeah, I just really recommend it. Do visit her video on YouTube and that. Yeah, and just
Down with a double N, is it, or with a single?
No,
N?
just single N, Domhan. So that's
sending me ill-spelt sound clips then, Edward. Just because here I am ready to help you out. But here you are, fooling me, making me a fool. Really nice, yeah. And as Ed said, any clips you hear on this podcast, we recommend you go and buy them, because artists, whether you think it was nice or even fantastic, it's like, fucking support a few artists, for the love of God. Put your hand in your pocket.
Yeah, and like you know, I mean, it's a live gig at the end of the day, and it's in a pub, and while it is set up for music, there's always
so I have to ask now, was there a stage set up? Like, did Sean have it set up in terms of like what I imagine it would be, which would be Celtic lore / like
in terms of decoration? No, there's nothing like that. No,
nothing like that. Just main stage.
Just plain stage. Just look like a rock stage.
Cool.
Like a really cool, just fucking rock. And to be honest, that's what his gig was. It's just to draw a line under Down. Yeah, I mean, and that those clips, you're always going to have like a couple of people talking. It's just, you know, it's inevitable. But it's a pity, but it's inevitable, I think, you know. But
I disagree with the inevitability of it. I think there's a bit of an acceptance of it. Like for me, it's like you kind of don't go into the gig if you're not, like, it's different if you're in your bar and you have no choice. Like, we've often said this: if you're good enough, you quieten the people. But if people pay to go to a gig, listen, like, whatever, people are chatting. I don't know what the setup was as well. I guess you just got so close to people that were having a full conversation.
Yeah. I probably heard things on that recording that I shouldn't have heard, actually, to be honest. So, yes, I laundered all this money. I really hope nobody notices.
I'm not sure if it's mine. Shh. The wife doesn't know. I'm not sure if it's mine, but should be fine. Honestly, I'm just more worried about whatever this thing is. Zip.
It's just getting bigger and bigger. It's just getting.
Jesus fucking Christ, man! What are you fucking doing? You got. That's my sample of a country person talking to a Dublin person. There.
Very good. That was very good. Do you know what? I this didn't happen in Dublin, but for some reason it just came into my mind. I was at a petrol pumps, and it's one of those card petrol pumps, and it was at night time. I don't know what hour of the night it was. It was fairly late, and I pulled in, and it's an automatic pump. You pay with your card, etc., etc. And this guy came up to me and he was like, "Hey, have you got? Can you? What did he say? These machines don't take cash. Can you put fuel in my car and I'll give you the cash?" And he was holding out a tenner, and I went. I told a lie, you know. I kind of said, "Oh no, I've only enough on my card for my own car." Wasn't that weird?
And the most not like. I only have enough, exactly €10 left.
Right?
I'm on the edge here, man. Sorry.
Wasn't that such an odd thing to do?
It's a very difficult situation to come up with an excuse in a short space of time. I have to say, but I said that's quality. I only got tenner left in this. It's a fucking credit. It's called a credit card. Literally, the thing is, you can have credit.
No, it's a debit card, Andy. It's only what's there. It's only what's there.
I'm kidding. He's going there with kids' seats in the back. He's like, yeah, literally living day to day. I'm on the edge, man.
You do not know. You do not want to know what's in the closet at home. I've done things.
It's not even making me money. I just do it and make it more complicated somehow.
He did not believe me and walked away in disgust.
Of course. It's like, even if he was trying to prank you, it's like, that's the worst. Like, you got to come up, like, even if there was a hoax going on here and it was the greatest.
Yeah. He's like, guys, cut it. We're not getting this guy, because you got to give this guy more time to get better game, because he's not even in the same league.
But to give you your credit, I think I would have second thoughts about, like, oh God, what do I have to do now? Give my card here and give it. Like,
he was giving me bad vibes. I do have.
This
to
is
say
Ireland
also,
as well. Like, it's like, this is the world that you live in. Like, you know, like, as in like cash. There's very little card where I actually live around. It's like you always have to have cash on you, unless you're going to a major shop. So it's like, yeah. Yeah.
Well, anyway. I thought I was nimble on my feet with that one. I was really proud of myself. I was like, yeah, got myself on that one. Little does he know, I have €5 on this card.
Just he pulls out and you're just sitting there with a 99. Just wait a minute. He said he had nothing. A 99 is an ice cream that we eat in Ireland.
Chalk ice. Go for chalk. Magnum. A Magnum. Is eating a Magnum. He said his thing, then he did his party piece, then I did my party piece, and then there was like a moment where he was like processing what a bad fucking stupid excuse that was, and then he just turned away in disgust. And he turned away in disgust, and I was behind him going, "Oh, you're such a fucking idiot, Ed. Like, you're such a piece of shit." And I said that BoJack Horseman line to myself the whole way home. I was like, "You're such a piece of shit. You're just a stupid piece of shit." You know, but
I
thought the best place to air it is the podcast. Discuss. Let's discuss it. Could you imagine?
If he's listening to this podcast, we're winning, man. We've done it.
Yeah, I was wearing work clothes. You know, I was clearly working, and like so for the only way for my excuse to be true, with all of the data that he was presented with, was that I have a like crippling addiction to something. And I'm on my way to get my fix. And I just have enough on the card to get me to my fix. And nothing else. Apparently, he should have felt sorry for me. I'm sure he did actually, in a way, feel sorry for what a fucking stupid piece of shit I was. No, he did not actually. He was quite annoyed.
All right, no, let's yeah. You did fine. It's an awkward situation, man.
Yeah. But what a funny fucking thing. Where your mind goes like, what can I say? No, sorry, just I'm putting in 20 here. That's all I got. Then the card's maxed out. That's all I got. I might just take the card out and just cut it up in front of him. Got useless now. Nothing on it. Nothing. Burn it. He said, I don't think you should be doing that next to a petrol pump. It's useless. It's gone.
You just curl up in the fetal position in front of him and just start
What am I going to do? What am I going to tell my wife?
He's like giving you the tenor.
You need this more than me, sir.
God. That was not on the way to Dublin. That was
no, I don't know how that just popped into my head there. I think it's with your Dublin accent. Maybe think of that guy, even though he wasn't from Dublin. I think that was what it was.
Thank you for sharing that, man.
You have to share these stupid things that you do, because everyone these days presents the perfect version of themselves, and I think it's important to show everyone, and for anyone who was in doubt for a second that maybe Edward is the perfect person. Here I am, ladies and gentlemen.
The thing is, Ed, we're doing it for us, not for them, not for you. for us. Here's to
But don't ever ask me for money
don't ever-
because I will make both of us feel very, very bad in that situation. It will not be pretty, and you will just not want to be there. So, just to all the listeners, don't ever try to ask me for money.
I've been trying to remember something that I have of an equivalent answer but the only thing I can remember is that when I worked at Superquinn and I had heard someone had glandular fever, and so they called me, asked me where I was for work, and I said I had glandular fever, not knowing that this was a serious thing that can last
weeks and weeks and weeks. Yeah,
glandular fever. No, got better. Fine now. That's great.
Just 24-hour glandular fever. That was all it was. Just
needless to say, I did not remain in that job, but not because of that. Not because of that.
If anything, you went up in their estimation after that one. They're like, this guy's got nerves of steel.
Actually, if I have to think about it, I don't think I was fired though. I've never, like someone said it, like I've never, I don't. Have you ever been fired?
No, I've never been fired, but I heard the best story. I think I'll be okay telling it because it doesn't mention any names. But there was, I heard the best story of a guy getting fired from a place, and it's so this guy, he was working in a place which sold briquettes. Okay, and every Friday this guy would steal 2 bales of briquettes. Okay, it went on for ages, and the way he used to do it was he would wear like a really long, those really long high vis jackets, like they're really long, to go long, like down to your knees, or whatever. So what he'd do is, and it was way too big for him. What he'd do is he'd keep he wouldn't put his arms through the sleeves of the jacket. He'd have his arms inside the jacket, and he'd be holding the 2 bales of briquettes down by his sides. It was a massive coat. Okay. Anyway,
such an operation.
Wow, So the boss got wind of it, and he said, instead of just like directly confronting him about it, he met him. He made sure he met him leaving the yard one Friday when he was doing it. And he just
Star jumps. Let's do it. Star jumps.
No, he just said he started talking shit to him for ages, just like rambling, nonsensical, babbling conversation with this guy who was awkwardly holding these 2 bales of briquettes under his jacket.
If the guy that you're telling me this story about, I have so much respect for him thinking through how I can have more fun than this.
Yeah, it's not unbelievable. And he said the conversation went on for about 5 minutes, and your man just had to let go. Just his 2 bales of briquettes dropped out of his fucking coat at their feet. And your man didn't show up for work on Monday.
Ooh, not fired then. Never came back.
Yeah,
I am one of those. I am one of those people.
No, as in I presume he was fired. If you're caught that red-handed, I think he's gone. But that was a fucking funny story, though.
Brilliant. No, well thought out. I like people that just.
I just thought your man with stealing the bales of briquettes was, that's Ocean's 11 shit. That's
very much to like the fake arms thing is a big step up in like which I thought was like some sort of would be fairly like, no, it was creative as fuck.
It was. You know what? I gave him too much credit with the Ocean's 11 comment, but I give him Ocean's 11, but with like a little sprinkle of Father Ted. Like sprinkles.
Yes, it has got a Father, more of a Father Ted feel to it. But, I used to go to college with a guy. But,
go on, sorry.
No.
I'd love to have been there when the bales just dropped. I would have loved that. Clunk, clunk. I think we both know what this is, sir.
Like even the thoughts of coming up with the conversation pieces, just like I just need to keep him here. That's all. Enjoying all of that. Like I hope he reveled in it and wasn't thick, and like was actually able to enjoy it because whatever, this person is stealing from you, and but Yeah, it's that's quality. I like that. I can't remember what I was going to talk about.
A guy you worked with, there was a guy in college who used to.
Oh yeah. Just like a guy I went to college with, and like he used to drive up. Like I grew up in one of these petrol stations where you come and get your briquettes or whatever and stuff. And I'm sure we've had a fair few robbed from us in our time.
No,
just in a giant coat. Any of the people that robbed us, I don't want to talk about them because they're probably still people I drink with and hang out with. So,
no.
But no, this guy I used to go to college with, like I remember just pulling up at a petrol station once, and he just got out, picked up a bale of briquettes, put him in the back of the car, went in and paid for his whatever, a bar of chocolate, and just drove off or whatever. Put to it, like just killer instinct when it came to kind of like just whatever, being able to
thievery.
Yeah. But I guess in college there's a kind of like whatever. I wasn't doing it, but am I enabler? Is that what they call it? Am I an enabler?
I think there's a more serious title actually, and I think it's you're complicit in the crime.
Cheers.
Enabler is one of those wishy-washy, nobody's really responsible terms. Nope, the law will hold you responsible for what you know about that crime.
Well, I work in school, so it'd be weird if we were saying you were complicit in the bullying. You were complicit. You were complicit in the tearing up of Billy's homework on the way.
No, I think you're safe, man. They don't even make briquettes anymore, so don't worry about it.
Oh, do they not?
No, the briquettes are gone. You can't get a bail anymore.
Wow, I wonder how many people have them holding on to them, hoping that like...
You do see the odd bale of briquettes appearing every so often, but the supply is dwindling though.
I used to deliver fuel on Saturdays every single weekend. It was just the job. It was like load up a trailer, and it's amazing the amount of old people that have like really do have like sheds full of we are ready for the apocalypse, like
end times.
It's just so funny. It's like I think they spend a lot of their pension just on fuel. Like,
yeah,
but like there's so much stuff there. Like
I think there's a fuel allowance in the pension or something like that. There's a fuel allowance for retirees or something. There's a certain amount of money
so maybe that's where they
can dedicate towards fuel.
I don't ask where the money comes from, Ed. I don't know these people. I just deliver the briquettes.
Yeah, you could be fucking dropping the briquettes next to the meth lab, and you're just like, hey, just this is the job. This is the job. You're an enabler. Cool, you're an enabler there.
Honest to God, it was actually, when I think back on it now, and it's only literally in this moment now that I'm thinking about this, like it was an amazing job for just meeting people all the time. Like, because you're delivering fuel, you always have small talk with every single person. I did all around Burskane, and so did my brothers, and like, just like, it's funny how much you kind of plug into everyone. So you stepping into someone's backyard is a, not that it's ever shocking. Just,
I've seen things. I've seen things. Too many genitalia for one thing.
It's like the statue of David, but the dick is there, and it's massive. Like it's comically massive. Like in so many gardens.
Cumbersomely massive. Yeah, it's an obstruction.
So yeah. Anyways, so Sean played music.
We digressed a big time there. So sorry about that, Sean, if you're listening to this. But to get to the like main event. So Domhan went down a storm, and then it was time for Sean to come on, and the band. So there was a really nice setup. There was a bass player, there was a drummer. There was Sean himself. He played acoustic guitar, and sometimes he didn't. Sometimes he'd step back and play a little bit of keyboard. I don't know enough about the ins and outs of electronic instruments, like keyed instruments, to know exactly what he's playing. But it was a keyed electronic instrument, and then there was a guitarist alongside him there as well, and another guy on the keyboard. And it just made such a brilliant sound. Like it was really. It was actually like it was really rock. I don't want to use the word rock concert. It really was though. It was like brilliant. It's just so good. Maybe play the first tune, which I think is Ag Muscliacht.
It is. I don't know. Can't see what the. Oh no, that's number 3. Oh yeah, that's number 3. Sorry, I'll start that.
Number 3. Yeah.
Fucked up. We'll get that in post.
Yeah. So like honestly, powerful stuff. And again, the audio doesn't do it justice. The gig, and like everyone was, it was a real crowd rouser, that one. I suppose because it had come out before the album was released, so most people knew it. Most people there knew it, and so you can hear people singing along with the chorus. And that's towards the end of the song. That clip is, so you know, everyone was it really built up to that. But he did such a lovely job of kind of dipping out of it a little bit and letting people sing it. And then, you know, it kind of climaxed. Then it kind of built into a bit of a crescendo and kind of climax there for the finish. It was so well done. But that's a song that the more I listen to it, the more I like it as well. It's yeah, I really like it. I really like that song.
Just when you said climax there, I remembered Uyghur talking about masturbation on stage.
Oh yeah. But
climax was there.
Well, look, Whelan's is a big spot. I'm sure there was some of that going on. But
nice.
He's so good. Like
he definitely just like owns where he is and just
stop.
But I think it becomes from a sincerity, a position of sincerity, and just like I can imagine him on stage. I'm going to hit number 4 without you even asking now, and I'm just going to play it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say what I describe, what I witness, which is like when you're listening to that. And again, I want to go back to that. The live recordings are nothing compared to an album, and you should buy an album or listen to it at least. You like the vibe there. This is one of the songs that you said you liked, is it?
Oh man, that song is called Soul Seer.
And
if I could have, like, I just, so we play little clips on this podcast, like, because we're kind of, I don't know, we don't feel it's right that we play a full song. That's why we don't do that. And we want to kind of but we still want to give some sort of impression of what it is we've experienced while being like respectful to, artists trying to sell their music and make money from their music and get their music out there. So that's why we play such short clips. We try to get the best of both worlds if we can. But if I could have played that entire song, I would have. It is so good. And you know the way sometimes when you hear a recording back of where you were, you just get it brings you right back in there. Like, and that song, that was. It was a beautiful gig, even the way that he had arranged the songs to play. He did that so well as well. Like, and
did he play the full album or stuff?
Played the full album plus one extra. He played one extra that wasn't on the album. It was from a previous album from a Tau and the Drones of Praise album. I believe the album was Mishniak, and the song was Ciara O'Donnell. That's the last clip that I sent you there. But all the other songs were the album. He played the full album, and just the arrangement of it was just done so well. It really brought everyone along, and kind of and brought you up, brought you, leveled you out, and it was really well choreographed and really well done. And the band all there was great chemistry between the band and the way they were interacting with each other, and some of the band members, not that it really matters, but some of the band members were like 18, like, they were like young guys, like, and to play there, I mean, in Whelan's, it's such a well-established music venue at an album launch like this, an album of this quality, with this guy Sean Mulrooney, who has, he's done it all. Like this is his I think fourth album or something like that he's presided over, and they did incredibly well as well. I was just so impressed by the whole thing, and I really enjoyed the gig. I really, really thought it was fantastic, and the album itself is fantastic. So I would just do buy it because it's well worth it. That's all I would say. Yeah, and the last clip I sent you then, excuse me, as I said, is a song called. Sorry, I didn't say that, but it is a song from. I believe the album is Mishniak, from Town, the Drones of Praise, and the song is called Ciara O'Donnell, and we mentioned it on the podcast interview with Sean. It's a class song, absolutely brilliant song, written by Paul Brennan from sugar, I'm going to struggle to remember the name of his band now. They're a really well known band. This is going to kill me, but anyway. So he was there as well. He wrote the lyrics, I believe, and then Sean put them to music, and the result was Ciara O'Donnell, and that's the last clip.
Very nice. Ah. I have to be honest.
Yeah.
I was not familiar with that before you had even done the podcast, and you talked about the podcast, and I didn't know it. I didn't know. It's nice. It's got a nice. What's the word? Not anthem, but kind of calling. I don't know. Whatever the word.
There's a great beat to that. Hook. There's just a fantastic beat to that song. And Paul Brennan.
No, it's not beat. No, beat wasn't what I was looking for. It was something else.
No,
it was something else.
I couldn't go. I had to check Paul Brennan because I couldn't recall the name of the band. It was Planet, and so he joined him on stage for that song.
Oh, he's the one that told him about Musculocked, and
exactly.
It's a made up word. Yes, now I remember.
Yes. And obviously embarrassing for me not remembering the name of the band, but anyway, there you go.
Very embarrassing. I would remember if you had said that. I would have said Planet straight away.
Yeah,
I would have had like that. Can do it now.
Well, as we've earlier established in this podcast, I'm not the best at thinking on my feet. So, anyway, people just have to forgive me. So
he was in Bewitched. I think he was in Bewitched. Yeah, I was definitely Bewitched. That's the second time I've shouting Bewitched actually in this podcast. No, fuck, I've got to leave that alone now. That's all. Yeah, I feel unless I imagined I'm dreaming of podcasts where I'm talking about Bewitched. But I don't think I am.
Not surprising.
Feel like I've mentioned it before.
Not surprising.
No.
Go on. But what a song! No, gee, you're grand. Like, what a song though. I just love that song, and that was the song where I spoke about the music video, and it was how it was shot and stuff like that, and the place just erupted as well. Like so he's he really works the crowd really well as well at live gigs. But do buy the album. This is my prayer. It's not available on Bandcamp, and it's well worth it. And
Nice.
yeah, like I said, I just so like there were already two standout tracks for me before I had heard the full album, and they were two that were released. They were like Muscleoct and the Pufferfish. They were two brilliant songs. But then when I heard, when I heard the album itself, Aphrodite also stood out, and Soul Seer. Soul Seer is just amazing. Like it's it's one of those songs. The whole album is one of those things where like you really appreciate that you're listening to somebody really talented. And like I said, I said earlier, he's a guy I'm surprised is not more in the mainstream consciousness, especially in Ireland, because he's so good.
Yeah, so maybe he's as he would be self-described. He's in the other world, the center world, where it's both popular and not popular, which is maybe a nice place to hang out. I think there's but who knows?
So after the gig was done.
I only got €5 left on my debit card, so God, I'm living in a very specific world.
How am I going to get down from Dublin? I've only got €5 on my debit card, so Anyway, so I mean, look, if anyone feels like sending me money, they can send me money. That's absolutely no problem. Just get in contact with me.
Substack, I believe, will let you sponsor us.
Let's get this debit card situation sorted so that I can give random strangers who ask me to fill their fucking cars with petrol or diesel the means to propel themselves to where they need to go.
Propel themselves. They're all hoverboats. We're living on hoverboats in Ireland.
Yeah, I thought it sounded poetic, so I just said propel. Anyway, after the gig was finished, we finished our drinks, and we were like, shit, we have to hop it down now to the Quays again to catch our bus, because we were getting a bus home because we weren't staying in Dublin that night. So we kind of legged it down, and this was the kind of dodgy part. We were like, we don't know how this is going to work out, getting a bus back down from Dublin, back down to Limerick after a gig, after having a few drinks. First of all, it was not explicitly stated anywhere that this bus is going to have a restroom or a bathroom, which was going to be a must in my opinion.
I thought that was a standard. I thought that's what we would under on the terms of which I spoke to you about before you were doing this was like, well, sure, there's toilets on all buses now.
Now, I said that thinking I was going to be able to book a bus with a certain company, but I ended up having to book a bus with a different company because I got the times wrong. And so the company I thought I was going to get a bus with definitely has toilets. The bus that I eventually had to book, I wasn't sure. So we were on the way down. Now, that didn't stop us stopping in like the world's biggest Spar and like getting all like food and drink and all that sort of stuff and filling ourselves up completely. It didn't stop us doing that, this uncertainty around the toilet. So we headed for the bus, got the bus, and it had a toilet, thank God. And just slept the whole way down to Limerick.
But that is like no, the feeling of, okay, we could have got a bus that we know has a toilet, but we're not sure about this one, and then there's a toilet. That's another wave. Another wave of just celebration.
Yeah. And we celebrated by eating sausage rolls on the bus.
Sausage rolls. Did you have another drink on the way back down?
Non-alcoholic. We had like cans of Coke. We were at a picnic. We were boys picnic on the bus. It was wonderful. It was like it was. I'll do it again. I'll go up for a gig again and get the bus back down again because hotels are a bit too expensive these days now up Dublin. So
it is,
nice and you wake up in your own bed.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know. Yeah, I guess when we get to a certain age, we think we can't do this anymore, and fuck that, we can.
I'm holding out for the old age pensioners pass that I can do this shit for free.
You need to get yourself a posse of OAPs that are like, listen, you can accept what's happening to you, or you can get on this bus for free with me. Toilets. I can be. They always need like a caretaker, a caregiver, whatever.
Yeah.
And then, oh my God, fucking spin off. We're all ready. We're ready for a spin off.
I don't know. The stairs down to the toilets on these buses are lethal. They're lethal.
That's what you're there for, man. That's what you're there for. Like,
break the fall.
Imagine 2 weeks ago we had the idea for wakes.
Yes.
Now we do the
wacky wakes.
Now we're even going a step further back. Now we're hanging out with them beforehand. Fucking get to know them, and then
couple of years down the line, we're going to be opening a creche. It's just our customers are getting younger and younger and younger. We're going to be doing ultrasounds.
In fairness, just give it time. Started off dead, so it's like
they start off dead, and then, now they're barely hanging on to life. We're escorting them around the place. Then we're going to deal with like middle-aged people doing whatever it is middle-aged people need to be dealing with. We should know that as middle-aged people. But we haven't figured it out yet. Then younger people who will literally just tell us to fuck off. But I think the younger they get, then they'll need more help.
There's going to be a couple of years of very, very careful political movements because no, actually, eject.
Okay, all right. Okay, that's good. That's good. You had the sense to wherever that was going. You didn't like it. That's good. Well done.
Oh man.
And yeah, but what a great night, and what a great album, and what a great performer. Well done, Sean. That was really nice. Brilliant.
Yeah. Best luck, Sean. You can get Sean's album on Bandcamp, as Ed mentioned. But I'm sure if you Google the man, you got Town the Drones of Praise also. You have got Dowan, who are coming at you hard in the future. So be ready. I think that's a direct quote. You can rewind back, or you can just trust me that that's what Ed said. And
coming at you hard. See, that was the guy. That was the vibe I got from the guy at the forecourts with the diesel. He was coming at me hard, right? Even one of those floppy tenors. You know the tenors. You know the way notes go all like really like toilet paper almost. Waving one of these things around. You know,
you're gonna have to get out the pen and check.
You're not gonna get me, man. You're not getting me, man. I got an excuse ready to go, lined up.
I've got glandular fever.